I gotta change this. Are we live? Can you guys see me good, hear me good? Holla at me, let me know. Let me switch this over. Let me get rid of that. We don't need a, we don't need tip skull. So you guys can hear me good, see me good? Now, this is more of like a test. I know, more of like a test as far as I really didn't want to watch the show, and I'm pretty much done with Fear. And I did get a handful of comments. I'm very doubtful that many people are going to want me to really follow every episode. But I did a little promise that we'll check out the premiere of Fear, of Dead City, of The Daryl Show, and anything else that's Walking Dead related. I highly doubt many people, if any, is going to say, yes, come back for episode 2 of Fear the Walking Dead, season 8. So I started a free trial, and I actually watched episode 1, and we're going to discuss that now. Now, I don't know if there's nowhere where I could put this tipper thing where you guys can read it. Hopefully you can see it. But so let me pop out the chat, get everything set up. I don't know if I'm going to separate the review portion and upload it separately. I might do that if you see that uploaded tomorrow in its own little segment, just a heads up so you're not watching the same thing twice. I just want to pop out the chat, make sure you guys can hear me and see me. It looks like everything's on. It looks like everything's good. Where is the... There we go. My chat was blank for a second there. Let me pull it up. All right. Phantom, we might not be streaming for the show. Like I said, I highly doubt many people are going to say, come back for, the second episode. But in a minute here, I'm going to start with my review. I thought this episode had a ton of twists and turns and some freaking excitement. We're going to get into this shit. This shit is amazing. I'm kind of curious to see what others think about it. I don't know. This one is shocking. I mean, it's been shocking for a while for me, but I don't think we're going to get more than 20 people to show up. So I might just go into the review. So I'll make a mental note somewhere around 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes, so I could go in and cut this part out and upload it separately tomorrow. But right now, if you're new here, we're going to do a 15-minute review of my thoughts and impressions, and then I'll take a break and we'll get into a little bit of fan feedback. It probably like 5 of you actually watched the episode, but if you didn't watch it, I'm going to recap it and review it real quick here. So we're going to get started right around the 4-minute mark. I got it. So if you do comment, I'm doing the review first, and then I'll look at the comments after. So I won't even see it unless it's a text-to-speech and it pops up on the thing. But if you want to hold your comment and if you actually have something to add to the show itself, wait until my review in about 10 minutes or so when it's over, and I'll get to your comment specifically. Because if you leave it early and then everyone else talks and then I get done with my review, I might not see it. So let's talk Fear the Walking Dead, Season 8, Episode 1. This is the final season for Fear the Walking Dead, and it starts out with, I just want to say, the baby monitor bit. I don't know why, but I found that so cheesy. They put like a baby monitor on the counter, and Morgan heard like a baby. I don't know. I guess it was the whole aspect of that being his daughter, his, adopted daughter, but Then Madison aims a gun at, they like knock out the guards, and Madison aims a gun at a two-way mirror. The guy's over a speaker. He could be anywhere. He could be behind the mirror on the right side, left side. He could be up top standing on a ladder. He could be laying on the ground sleeping. He could be not even behind the mirror. And she holds her gun at the mirror like she has him at gunpoint. Maybe I missed something. I rewound it, but she's literally holding a gun at a two-way mirror. That dude could leave, could do anything. He could actually pull out his gun, a bazooka, fucking start throwing tomahawks. I don't know if it'll break the glass, but the point is, it's a two-way mirror. Madison is on the mirror end. She can't see inside the mirror, so she's literally aiming a gun at nothing. But the scene builds it up like she's holding him, and she actually makes the comment, "I will hold this down. You go get your kid." That part was so ridiculous. Within 3 minutes of watching this episode, I almost went into shock. All right, so then there's they jump forward 8 years, and I like the color in the zombie's mouth, using it as a sign that you were bitten. That's actually a neat idea. Knock out their teeth, put a little paint in their mouth. I think in this they put a sponge, which is kind of weird because it's drippy. And if you had a really close quarter combat with the zombie, it would look like you got bit, but you didn't. So that was kind of stupid. But I do like the concept a lot. So that concept wise, that was cool. The people getting captured, that was a big laugh my ass, because what they do is okay, go get the baby. Madison and Morgan leave, then they time skip, and now Madison is captured. This is something that Fear the Walking Dead and the Walking Dead franchise do way too much. When there's action or anything that needs money to film it, they just skip it and they'll tease it after the fact. Like Madison is captured. Holy shit, we just saw her holding a two-way mirror at gunpoint, but now she's kidnapped? What happened? Well, they'll tell you about it, but they won't show you about it. So she was captured. Funny as shit, man. Just how they made it seem like they were doing their damn thing, but oops, she's captured. So the story of what Madison did, that's off screen, she killed like 30 people with a sledgehammer. The story is exciting, but what we're looking at is apparently an 8-year-old girl that I swear she's got to be like a 13 or 14-year-old actress. This is such a ridiculous difference in age. If I remember, I'll look up the cast. Someone do me a favor and please look up the cast and look for the Ren/Mo character. She's supposed to be 8 or 7 or 8, something like that. And I tell you what, it's like she's double that age, close to double. I'm saying like 13 or 14. Anyhow, and that stood out as wildly obnoxious. Every time they brought it up, how old are you? She's like 8. It's like, no the fuck you're not. There's no way. I don't know the actor. I guarantee she's not 8. Anyhow, so Madison then knocks out 2 guys, and I had to rewind this twice. I still don't understand what happened. She knocks out 2 guards by sweeping them in the ankles with a sledgehammer. Somebody let me know how the fuck she did that, but she did. She threw the girl, did this sweep with a sledgehammer, and 2 guards were just like, they were snoring. Anyhow, so this is where they escape, but guess what? They skip it. They cut to commercial, boom. Madison and the Ren character are on a boat, and they're in swampland. They totally escaped this community/island that's on lockdown. Insane lockdown, but suddenly, within the blink of an eye, they escaped. All skipped, by the way. Now, then suddenly they're in the woods, and guess what? And this is what I said, the twists, the turns, it's amazing. They're in the woods and they're like, how do we survive? Madison's arguing with Mo. It's a bit obnoxious. Then guess what? Morgan just shows up. He just comes out of nowhere, not like, holy shit, Madison. I mean, not even in an interesting way. Morgan just appears. And then the girl's like, who's this? That's your dad. And it's just it's such a deflated balloon of a mess. It's just like a flat tire. You hear it thumping. You know, it should be something amazing when you see this scene. Oh, someone says it says she's 12 years old online. I was close enough, but I'm telling you what. A 12-year-old versus an 8-year-old acts very different when it's supposed to be a character on screen. Looks, sounds, how they interact, wildly different. You know, those are like two age ranges where it comes to stuff like fighting a zombie, where if you looked at an 8-year-old, you're like, bro, you're going to struggle. Unless you're a warrior since birth. She came out the womb doing Bruce Lee sidekicks. I friggin' doubt it if that's not the case. Now, so Morgan suddenly appears, reunites with his daughter. They randomly find him. They claim it was the radio. Okay, whatever. But then Morgan stayed there for 7 years. He escaped with her, but there's this mystery. But he stayed in that area where they escaped for 7 years while his daughter went back to the camp. Hold on, because the twists and turns are not stopping now. So the little girl's like, my name is Ren, don't call me Mo. I'm just sitting in the back of my mind thinking, just shut the fuck up, you know? She's yelling, take me back, and then dun, dun, dun. Morgan turns on Madison and agrees to take Mo back, his daughter, take her back to the enemy. Now, we don't know, we haven't heard, we haven't seen how this Padre guy takes care of his people, but Morgan just randomly turns bitch, decides I can't fight these zombies, and gives his daughter to a complete stranger that kidnaps people and looks like, from the outside looking in, he's making some type of child army of some type of army where the parents aren't allowed. If you find a situation where any type of authority is blocking parents out of the situation, you know damn well nothing good is going to come out of that. They're either groomers of some sort or they got some fucked up shit going on. And that's the situation here. Morgan just says, yeah, sure, I'll give up my daughter. So, dun, 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 Madison takes the gun. All of a sudden, the tables have yet turned again. Madison has Morgan at gunpoint, and it's all because Morgan took 2 dangerous steps towards her for whatever reason. He's about to execute her, but then he's like, oh yeah, Mo, let's take her sledgehammer. Mo, don't look. Mo, come here and take her sledgehammer. He takes 2 steps forward. Madison, on oxygen, barely can stand, is all like, you know, takes his gun, and that's a wrap. Now, so they start walking forward. Morgan doesn't say, bro, it's swampland. It's impassable swampland. We can't go that way. Nope. He just says, well, I don't think we're strong enough to kill all the zombies, but fuck it, let's go. I mean, you're aiming a gun at me. If someone's aiming a gun at me and they're saying, let's walk forward, and there's a cliff with certain sudden death, I'm not going to go, well, you got a gun, let's keep walking. No, I'm going to say, bro, if we walk forward, we're going to die. So point any other direction, I'll go that way. Nope. Morgan's just like, oh well. And they need this because apparently they're going to show how they were kidnapped before because they went that way. The swampy area is cool. I dug it. I dug the swamp. I dug the zombies for the most part. It was hard to maintain my focus because it was really poor, painful episode. But anyway, so the kid who was like a baby suddenly remembers because she hears a song. This is where I wrote 8, but looks seems 13. But she's scared that the zombies are going to swamp them because now she remembers that's what happened in the past. So you know what the little girl does? This is a genius idea. There's zombies all around and she's like, oh my God, they're going to swamp this houseboat, lake boat. And that's how we're going to drown and get attacked and yada. So she decides to start yelling louder about it. Then she decides it's a genius idea to pull a gun and shoot Madison. Morgan stops her, but she still shoots in the air. So, now they're swamped. And I do have to mention here that the epic reveal where they build up this, what happened with Morgan getting caught in the past is literally this. They build up this epic reveal. The whole episode, you're like, how did Morgan give up the daughter? How did Morgan become working for the enemy? And then Morgan just, they're fighting a bunch of zombies and Morgan is just like, I couldn't kill all the zombies, so I had to give you up. Like, that's the reveal? That is the reveal? What in the fuck is going on? You don't know anything about this group at all. And you're just like, yeah, I ran into a bunch of zombies in the swamp, and that's pretty much it. I haven't fought zombies for the last 10 years in the most ridiculous situations and came out on top. Nope, it's a little bit of swamp. I didn't think the guts trick. I didn't utilize anything that I've learned in the past 20 years now, because they skipped 8 years. Don't forget, this is like 18 years into the apocalypse. He hasn't applied a single trick in 18 years. He just gives up and calls the enemy, come get my kid. That's the character we're supposed to love. Anyhow, I wanted to be a little more fun when I was going over this, but now that I read it out loud, my God, this is stupid. Anyhow, so her foot gets stuck in the mud. I don't know how. I don't even care. And then you see a ton of zombies. Now, they're in the middle of a swamp, in the middle of literally nowhere, because AMC only has the money to film in the woods. I give them credit for the swamp. That was definitely cool. But it is the swamp. It is nothing around. No civilization whatsoever. But what do they have in abundance? Zombies. Zombies out the ass. Zombies are coming out of the water. They're falling out of trees. They're climbing out of the mud. They're crawling out of dirt. They're moving rocks. They're coming out of the ground. They're parachuting out of the sky. They're fucking, one crawls out of Morgan's pocket, just fucking out of nowhere. It is insane. Anyhow, one suckling. Oh no, wait, let me not ruin that, because that's another sudden reveal. They're about to all die. Madison's gonna, for like the 17th time, she's gonna sacrifice herself, but we know it's not really happening, but they're playing on this empty tension that she's about to die, although she's in the previews for the rest of the season. Really stupid gimmick to, fake out death in the first episode of a season, but they do it all the time. Anyhow, they're suddenly about to die, and who shows up? Bam, 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 a whole bunch of gunshots. It's the mother. So we have like the child, and the child is going to be reunited against parents that are fucking just separated. They could be anywhere at this point in time. And they make these little lines like, oh, I heard the radio. Oh, that's all it takes to be reunited in a world so vast. I heard the radio. So, but they were close. I get it. They're close. But that's the reveal and the reunion between father. He runs out of the woods randomly. He's like, oh, who are you? I'm your dad. Oh, shit. And then suddenly this girl, bang, 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 saves them all. And the daughter literally says, well, who are you? I'm your mother. Or maybe Madison's like, she's your mother. One of the most ridiculous. I laughed. I actually wrote in the notes to make sure to emphasize, I bust out laughing. No joke aside, no over-exaggeration. When you see this, that's your mother reveal, there was something about it. It was so just cheap and poorly done, like a soap opera. I just bust out and started laughing. Like, that's all you got? Like, the mother just shows up. Anyhow, I don't want to beat the dead zombie to death, but next up, we have our heroes yelling at their own child to go away and live with the enemy, Wow, way to make us hate Morgan, hate the mother. I forget her name. Who cares about her name? Because she's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. Like, these are truly pieces of shit. And they have just assassinated Morgan's character to take him to do all this shit, to now he's kidnapping children. And they make it a line to cover it up. Like, oh, but Morgan only takes kids that are orphans and shit. Like, get the fuck out of here. Come on, man. And oh, well, the boss doesn't know about it, but that I only take kids that don't have parents, or the parents give them up. Like, you know what? Morgan's such a piece of shit nowadays. You ruined his character. And then, dun, 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 Morgan gives away the kid. So finally, the kid goes back, but dun, 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 again, another twist. The Padre betrays Morgan because they were late, ends up taking him as prisoner, taking Madison as prisoner. So now, in Madison, they wanted her dead before, but now suddenly they have use for her. She spent 7 years in lockup, in prison, doing nothing. Nothing. They fed her. They treated her. They're taking care of her for 7 years. No matter, even if it cost food, They're providing for Madison. She provides nothing. She's an enemy that killed 30 of their people, 30 of their guards. Then when she escapes, they tell Morgan, execute her. We don't need her. She's a total waste. But then when they show up, guess what they do? We're taking Madison. Yeah, we have some use for you yet. What use? What are we doing here? Fake out after fake out of character deaths. Like, no, Madison's going to sacrifice herself. Oh, Morgan, shoot Madison. Oh, the Padre's here. Madison is dead. This whole time, they told us if Padre shows up, he will kill Madison. Nope. He's like, we're going to take her with us. Who the fuck is writing this shit? So anyhow, so in the beginning, the daughter's really like weak and can't fight zombies, right? But then by the end, suddenly, because she heard some music, ran into some people that said they were her parents, had awkward conversations, saw some zombies in the swamp. Suddenly, and this is why I think about the concept of good writing coming full circle is there. Like, kid goes through all this shit, couldn't kill zombies in the beginning because she was traumatized by something in her past. She was in the same situation, but now it's different because she was able to kill a zombie. I don't even think she did kill a zombie, but she was through this situation. She's come full circle. She can now fight and kill a zombie, but now she's like uber badass. This little 8-year-old grabs a sledgehammer. It's a mini sledgehammer, and the zombie comes out and she's just like, crunch. She's like, yeah, we're gonna get it done. Some of the most cringy shit I've ever seen. Now, I didn't have much expectations going into this. Sometimes I feel mean, and I think that's a heavy reason of why I just stopped reviewing it in season 7, because I just feel like the writing is so incredibly bad. I feel like I'm just standing here looking at a bunch of people wondering, like, do people not see this, or am I in the Twilight Zone? Like, this is so painfully stupid. It's at a point where I can't even take not even a one sentence of praise for this show serious. I just can't. I can't do it. This is so fucking awful. Terrible. So I'm ending this review at this is dog shit, and I don't expect the show to get any better for its final season, even when they have good concepts. Like, the concept of the little girl having trauma and then going through this experience, but then being, they don't add any training. They should have been some stuff in here where there's some training. They try to do it, but it's always so flippant. And here's why, I'm not going to do it now, but down the line, I'd like to break apart, good writing versus this writing, where we have the concept is there, but it's as if they go, okay, I don't want to write this and show this, but we have to, because we have to show that she trained. We have to show that she's grown. But it's like they don't care about the character growth, because the scenes that are necessary are so like flippantly done. Like, oh, she has to train. Okay, montage. Look, she's training. Oh, now she's a badass. It's not scenes where it's like they carefully cultivate a nice look, and so then when you rewatch it, you're like, oh man, I seen a little something different here, and I don't know, man. It's just not there. But then when I look at the rest of it, it's not like they're taking these scenes that are very important for the character, the structure of the character development, but even outside of that, it's not like there's stuff in there where I can see why they rushed some of it to get like to the meat of it, because even the meat is spoiled. So I'm at a total loss, other than whoever the creative team here, they just don't give a fuck, and I'm convinced. They're either not zombie fans, they're sick of working for AMC on this show, or they're just using this for a resume. There's no fucking way. And maybe if someone stands up and they're like, no, I'm in the writing creative team, I'm in the writer's room, I love zombies, I love working on this show, yada, yada, yada. Maybe I'd be like, all right, well, maybe we just disagree on what we find interesting. But I just flat out don't believe that the people working on this show, I don't believe their heart is in it at all. I don't fucking buy it. Not at all, because this sucks. That's my thoughts and opinions of Fear the Walking Dead premiere. It fucking sucks. End of story. It's embarrassing how bad it is. Now, And that's why I stopped reviewing it, because now I feel like a dick, you know? And my thoughts and opinions are over. That's about 24 minutes. So what? 4 minutes? Yeah, 20-minute review. I'm going to cut that out later. But if you guys want to chat for a few minutes and you want to leave your thoughts and opinions about the show, feel free to put them in the chat right now. Put my name, or you can do a super chat or a direct tip to get a text-to-speech. Anything above $3 is text-to-speech. And I'll read those out, and we'll get your thoughts and opinions too. But let's see. Let me back up and just see what a couple people have to say, if we have some thoughts and opinions. A couple shot out of cannon. Let's get a Zendaya look-alike and give them a Last of Us storyline. The sheep will eat it up. She didn't even look like Zendaya. She just looked miserable. And you know, it's not like the character, she's on screen right now. It's not like the character naturally has like this look, but just in her performance, she just looks like a miserable little bitch, you know? And again, not the actor, it's the character itself, because you can see it it's all in the performance. It's not in naturally like, here's a character face, or a person's face. Here's the character's expression in her scenes. She just came off as a little piece of shit, you know? 8-year-old girl who remembers something when she was 1 year old. I know, right? Fucking amazing. I felt terrible for Lenny James. Oh yeah, and he said he's done with The Walking Dead. So anyone who thought we're gonna get a Rick and Morgan reunion, apparently as of right now, that is never going to happen unless he comes back after saying he's not returning. Lenny James having to play out what the writers have done to Morgan. I'm only watching, hoping for a spin-off reunion. Oh shit, Cindy, I just killed it. Madison should never have been brought back. Yeah, Madison's character is fucking awful too. Veronica said, did they ever say what happened to the kids who were at the refinery a few seasons back? Oh, they just vanished. That was it. You're talking about where they were making that plane? Yep, done. They were just done in between seasons. She killed the zombie one shot. Yeah, with the sledgehammer. She's a total badass now. She had a couple conversations, and now she's a badass. Don't you know that's what happens, Jay Mortify? I mean, that's what I do. I go to work to a new job. Matter of fact, I just had this new job the other day. It was installing these wires and these metal rails, so handicapped elderly, not even handicapped, but elderly can get in the chair, and they go and they go all the way down from the second floor to the first floor. Well, I got this new job where I have to install them, but I don't know a thing about them. So I show up, and the boss was telling me, hey, I had this ex-wife, she was a real bitch. He gave me his whole backstory of all this stuff. Now he's going to prison for not paying $2 in child support. It's crazy. But once he was done talking to me, and then this other guy was done talking to me about something that he's going through with cancer of the toe jam, suddenly I was like, I know how to install the rails. So I installed all the rails. However, I think I might have missed something because, there was an accident, and it kind of looked like Gremlins. Little old lady shot out the fucking window. She was like, she's done. So it was all right. She was 98. She didn't have much time left anyhow. So, but I'm going to have a few more conversations, and then when I go back to work, I should be able to put in those rails for the elderly. Not a problem. All right, Nady Nay says, I was over Fear the Walking Dead once. John Dory yelled to Dwight, hold up your axe, right? Instead of just going ping, ping, or whatever the fuck it was, hold up your axe, and he's all struggling slowly. You could run up there and just, push the zombies away. He's like, hold up your axe. He's like reaching for the axe. Then he's holding it up, getting it steady. Hold on. He's lining it up. And then the bullet splits off the axe. Gets both of them. Like, get the fuck. Who comes up with this shit? That's some Expendables. If I saw that on Expendables, I'd be having a blast. I'd be like, this is ridiculous, but in a fun way. But not on The Walking Dead. Walking Dead is not supposed to be if you want a ridiculous zombie show, go make one, do a new one. I'd personally love to see some kind of video on writing technique through your own personal explanations with examples and material you love. I already kind of do that with the Flaw vs. All channel. For now, that's going to be the only, kind of interpretation of that. And I don't go like, okay, here's writing versus this writing, but the Flaw vs. Awe is literally just filled with that, you know, but we don't actually say the writing here. We might mention the writing and yada, 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 but the actual material itself is loaded with it. I have done some in the past, but it was taking a look at you know, just random comics little mini stories. So I love breaking down stories, so we could probably do something like that in the future. I do have, lately I've been testing some things that are going to go up on the Flaw vs. Awe channel, because I would like some other stuff that's in that vein. I have a neat idea for collectibles that, just to have fun every now and then, I have this idea to put up on there as like, kind of like refresher videos where you're burning through all this content, but these are kind of a little more fun. It's in the collectible realm. I love this idea, but I got to do a practice video, but we'll see. I don't know. I can't promise anything now because we just took a month break. I was doing other work and I'm just now coming back to get some videos done and get back with regular uploads. So I know I was going to do that last week, but I knew Fear was coming out here. I needed an extra week to do some shit. So must be an aluminum hammer, since she has the best memory ever. Oh yeah. And yeah, you know, I've actually, like many people in chat, you've actually picked up a hammer. And you know, it's funny because it's not just like, man, I pick up a hammer. Like, you know, even me picking up a hammer when I used to work on a construction site, even utilizing a hammer all the time, there's just certain weight movements a hammer, whether you're strong or not, there's certain movements a hammer will have that is there because of the weight and the weight distribution. You don't see that at all when they don't even try to fake it when they give like a kid or like a woman with like really skinny arms, like Angelina Jolie. Here, be a super badass. Here's a fucking 75-pound hammer. And she's holding it and floating it in a way that defies physics, you know, that defies the laws of gravity. And you can see it and notice it just looks so fake because they don't move like that. You know, there's a certain weight that goes and how it flows and moves and functions, but whatever. And they could fake it. You don't have to give a 12-year-old a fucking, you know, 9-pound hammer. Could probably be more than that, but still. Axe body spray. What? Yeah, a lot of people talk about season 3 being their favorite, and I get it, but I thought season 3 was fucking terrible. I might be mixing it up, but I thought season 3 was terrible. But you said 420 Zombie said he left in season 3. Painfully watched The Walking Dead all the way through and stuck it out. Hurts the heart what they did to both shows. Yeah, sometimes I think I'll go visit my grandparents, and it's kind of like out in the country, and you know, if the setting is just right, sometimes I get like this feel of The Walking Dead just because it's out in that kind of like environment, you know, and you know, visiting them and making Walking Dead videos and then yada yada yada. There's just this feel of the show, and sometimes I just get lost in like a memory of just some positive memory, and then I think now, and I'm like, I can't believe how much, in my eyes, The Walking Dead is just degraded. It is like a zombie that's just rotting. You know, it's fucking unbelievable. Here, Ronnie, one thing that made no sense was that in season 7 finale, Morgan was all about getting his kid back. Then season 8, he's like, go back, you aren't my kid. Like, what? Yeah, Nick, and here's what they do, is they take these moments, and it's simply just because they're plotting out the plot, and they need it to go this way and this way and this way, and they'll force the characters to have mood changes to fit the plot. Like, in no way would Morgan ever yada yada yada. What is more, listen, I would believe this more. Off the top of my head, it's already clicking. Morgan does get captured. He escapes with his daughter. He gets captured. Well, why is he there out in the swamp? It's an outpost. He's still a prisoner. We find Morgan. He saves them, but he's got this ankle chain on. And then another guard shows up, and this is, you know, one or two of the guards that were watching over Morgan. And then Madison can free Morgan. You know, they could do that, but what do we have? The new twist. No, Morgan really wants to betray Madison and send his daughter back. So we have the stupid twist / plot ideas that go completely against Morgan's character, but they don't give a fuck, because to the writers, it's all about the generic twist. I don't want to go on insulting fans, but it's popcorn fans. And hey, I'm that same way with certain material where, like Dread, the movie Dread, I'm only mentioning that because someone was talking about it recently, but it's a popcorn flick. It's ridiculous fun. It's with Carl Urban. Is that his name? Urban? It's the guy who plays Butcher in The Boys. Dread is fucking awesome. Would I say it's like a great movie? No, I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought it's ridiculous. They got drugs that slow down everything, put it in slow-mo, Is that stupid? Well, yes, I get it. It's their mind in slow motion, but the way it's filmed, it makes it seem like the world slows down. Anyhow, it's a lot of fun. If someone was like, that's just a stupid popcorn movie, shut your brain off and I'd be like, yeah, I agree, but I enjoy it. With this show, some of these scenes, I just kind of feel like, holy shit, it's like that, but it's not in a fun way. It's missing that like fun factor. It's just in a way where it doesn't line up. It's just gimmicks, for the gimmicks in the plot. Anyhow, axe scene, stupid, but I love it. Stupid scene. Well, there you go. You can have you might, same way where a scene in Dread might be really dumb, but I have a lot of fun with it. I'm glad you have a lot of fun with the axe scene. The Walking Dead's not the show where we need some of the more ridiculous trick shot stuff. Where we got Rondon, freaky feeling, missing you, dude. Wow, thank you very much. Healing through media. I actually missed John Dory and that whole story in the beginning of season 4 when Morgan joined. It had some charm. You know what? I think I remember that. If season 4 is the one that sadly turned into the heavy set Michonne ripoff. Remember that? If she is in the end of season 4, then I think you're talking about the same season that I always thought had a very promising start, and then it fucking shit itself bad, man. It just it was a mess. That ending was like, whoa, sounds like AI writing this. I guarantee, now that you mention that, how much you want to bet some of these writers are just nervous, so they go to AI and they're like, here's the characters, here's what's going on, give me a story, and then they get something and they go, okay, I can work with that. Let's make a little template off that. What happened to Madison's hot daughter? She's supposed to be dead, but not confirmed. I don't know. That was another one that was real stupid. She was poisoned and slowly dying as it turning into a zombie. I totally checked out of that. No wonder why Lenny James is like, I'm done playing Morgan. They have slaughtered his character, that he's not having fun with playing the character because of it. Yeah, I'm shocked he even made it. Well, it's the final season, I guess, might as well get that paycheck and bounce, but I don't know, man. That's just, a flip-flops villain. Eric said this is probably the worst writing I've seen in my life. I've seen, some bad writing, but I just have to say there's something about this that is just bad, man. First half of season 4 will always be the best portion of Fear the Walking Dead. Yeah, I don't think I'm ever gonna go back and rewatch anything with Fear the Walking Dead in length. However, if I don't know, man. If the time ever presented itself, I might be curious to just do a recap. I don't have to watch the whole thing, because some of it I just checked out a lot. I remember checking out in season 3. At that point, a lot of fans were still ready to just enjoy something, whatever direction they took. But I was more into the prequel, The Walking Dead. And then it turned into The Walking Dead, but then it started ripping off The Walking Dead comic that was doing stuff like the Negan storyline before the main show. Remember, I think it was season 3, wasn't it? It was season 2 No, season 2, where Madison did the trade-off. They stole that. You know what I'm saying? And we found out later that the main show didn't know that they stole that. So when it came time for Sasha to do her trade-off, they had to change it because Fear fucking did it before them. And I remember the interview where the writer was like, oh man, I didn't read the comic. I totally just whoopsie. Like, I don't buy that for a minute. I don't believe it for a minute. You ripped it off on purpose, you know? You did it before the main show. So I started checking out at season 3. There was a lot that had promise. I like certain things. And then like in season 5, I had another moment where I was like, all right, at the end of season 4, it was so bad. I'm like, okay, I'm done. But then they brought in like Dwight, you know, and I was like, all right, let me see. Dwight and Morgan, right? No, Morgan was 4. No, I forget. But then they're going to bring in Dwight. I think that's what it was. Morgan in 4, Dwight in 5. So I have to see what they do with Dwight. This is getting like seriously, but then they didn't do anything. So then I'm like, all right, whatever. So I'll check this out. And then season 7, I was like, I have to be done. This is it. Because every time I come back, I give it a chance. Within a few episodes, I'm like, I can't pay for the service. I'm actually angry. I'm giving them, you know, at the time it was $4 for the app. I'm actually angry. I'm giving them $4 because this sucks, you know. Now it's fucking $9. I definitely don't want to give them $9 for shit like this. Did you check out the trailer for Dead City? Yeah, if I get a minute, I'm going to do my video for that tomorrow. I'm just now getting back to the computer. Like, I didn't even have it on, shit, for like 2 weeks straight. I didn't even have my actual editing computer on. So now that I'm getting back, I'm doing Dead City tomorrow. I hope I should be able to squeeze it out. So Dead City will be tomorrow. There was something else I wanted to discuss. What was that? Oh, you know, in Dead City they did the fucking Last of Us Rat King. This is weird. I don't know if this is a coincidence. It might be, but Evil Dead Rise did The Last of Us Rat King, kind of. And then I'm watching Dead City trailer, and it's the Rat King. You know, you got the zombies all morphed together. I think with in Evil Dead Rise, they morphed together like a Rat King. But in The Walking Dead, it kind of looks like they rotted together. I don't know if that's what it's gonna be, but it looks like they rotted together and they're somehow, like, you know, intertwined. I don't know how they plan to make that work. It's like Jason's mask, where it embeds into the mask his skin from Jason Goes to Hell. That's what it looked like, but I don't know. We'll see. But again, the Rat King, there's no way that's a coincidence. They had to have been like, you know, that was good. Let's try it. I am more excited about Dead City than Fear, to be honest. I am too, for sure. To be honest, the writers for Fear kind of were mid from the beginning. I think they didn't give what they were needed. I only watched the CRM stuff. See, I know the 2 new writers now. What they enjoy in entertainment is nothing close to what I enjoy in entertainment. So forget about what's good and what's bad. Our tastes just don't line up. So if they do something concept-wise, or if they finalize something that I enjoy, that's great. But 98% of what they do, I just don't like. There's some concept stuff, sure, but even in execution, I end up being like, it feels like they didn't. The nugget is there, but they didn't take any time to polish it up. You know, it's like they didn't even care to. Anyhow. I quit when the hot chick was painting trees. Oh, I remember that. I hope in this premiere for a while. Terrible. They even did that secret zombie thing in the Michonne Telltale game. I totally forget now. What are we talking about? Is it, you mean the zombie that's like the Rat King zombie? World Beyond, just saying, it makes me tremble. Yeah, World Beyond was bad, I thought. Hot girl Alicia, yeah, she's hot. Dead City had some money thrown at it from the visuals and the cinematic feeling in the trailer. Cinematic. Well, I don't know anything about the budget. That's all I'm going to say. I will say I'm hoping for the best with the city landscape, but I'm already starting to see, even with the trailer, some, sneaky camera angles that I'm really hoping isn't going to plague the show. Like, for example, they run across an alleyway and for like 3 seconds you can see like the skyline of the city, but then they go indoors and it's the normal bullshit backgrounds, I have this really sneaky suspicion that that's what it's going to be. A lot of like landscape shots that are super quick, and then they get indoors and that's where the most of the shit pops off, not even indoors, just in an area where you don't see the landscape that you're here for. Richard asked, did you watch the Wings of Redemption versus Boogie boxing match? No/yes. No, I didn't sit down and watch the fight at all. No, I didn't pay for it. And I mentioned that specifically because a lot of these, boxing matches are, I think I've been watching, professional boxing since I was a kid. So when you watch, YouTuber boxing, I don't know, man, it's real fucking lame, The Wings of Redemption and Boogie one, I see a lot of people giving both them praise, and fuck it, like praise be to whoever, but Wings of Redemption, definitely he could get praised. That's fine. He got in the ring. He threw a few punches. I watched the clip though, because someone put up something about Boogie. What was it? The clip was like Boogie block punches from the back of his head or some shit like that. It was like a little clip, and so I watched the fight uploaded on just them two on YouTube, and Boogie didn't even. It's like they started fighting. Boogie got punched twice and literally went like, oh shit, this is real. And then he just didn't even throw a punch. He was turning his head like this. I get it. They're fat guys. So you're like, oh yeah, I give them props for being in the ring. But when you're in the ring, they're doing this for money. It's not like they did this to like prove to themselves. This is a fucking paycheck. Everyone's forgetting this is a paycheck. So props to Wings. He trained, he did what, and he went in there and he actually threw down. But Boogie just turned his head, got punched a few times, and then he lost. I don't know, man. I would be embarrassed, and if I was Boogie, I would make a damn point to come back and actually fucking do something. Like, people paid for that shit. Even though if you paid for it, I gotta say from the rip, you were foolish. You knew Boogie was gonna get stomped. I thought he would throw some punches though. But people paid for this. Like, fuck your whole, I was in a wheelchair a month ago. Who gives a fuck? No one cares that you were so fat you were in a wheelchair. You say it like 1,000 times. People are paying to watch you perform, and you got out there and didn't even perform. You still got your paycheck. You didn't perform. People didn't get to watch you throw punches, but you got your paycheck though, So if on a matter of just being a fucking man, I think Boogie should train more and do another fight and actually throw some punches. Do something. You're an entertainer. It's not just like, ooh, look at Fat Boy Boxing. Yay, You're an entertainer and you couldn't even do that. Like, fucking do something. Come back for episode 2, bro. In the trailer, you can see the season will be their best. I don't think we're coming back for episode 2. I'll warn you right now. Yeah, there might be a small possibility, but it's like a 10% chance we come back for season 2 or for episode 2. I'm gonna be honest with you. Pedro Pascal, Joel, not his fault, would be Andrew Lincoln's Rick Grimes, bitch. Oh, definitely. The best part of Fear the Walking Dead is when it ends and Dead City starts. Hallelujah. Dead City visuals look identical to The Last of Us, almost like they watched the show and went, let's do the same thing. Yeah, we'll have to see. One thing that is getting a little funky with Dead City, though, is I really, especially in post-apocalyptic entertainment, that's why with Fear the Walking Dead, when they muted the colors and it was damn near almost black and white, I loathed that because the promo images, the stills were glorious, like colorful pictures, but then the show is muted. They put a filter on it to filter out all the colors. I hate when they do that. That to me is like the idiot's biggest, dumbest idea of a post-apocalyptic. Let's mute bright colors because that means post-apocalypse. It's like you can still have bright reds and yellows and blues and it be in the apocalypse. I think it makes it, the contrast is even more visually stimulating. But anyhow, what I see with The Walking Dead, though, is there's a lot of single color visuals. Like the backdrop is, them with some busted up cars, and it's all like green tinted. They go indoors, it's all blue tinted. There's one where it's all red tinted, yellow tinted. That's starting to bug me. I hope they don't overdo that in the show, because I like really earthy, natural colors. I want to see real post-apocalyptic visuals, not this artsy, like this everything's tinted red. And if you have a red light, like there's a scene where it's a red light in The Last of Us, for the video game, for example, perfect, because they're in a tunnel, it's only a red light, the character's angry, the red light, it's symbolic, it fits, fine. But it's not like every other scene is just a single color tint, So I'm hoping they don't overdo that. I guess you like Kid Behind the Camera to Angry Grandpa. I didn't watch Kid Behind the Camera or Angry Grandpa. I've heard of those names. I might have watched a couple clips, but no, I do not watch Kid Behind the Camera. You said it like Kid Behind the Camera to Angry Grandpa. Are they the same one? I was assuming they were different people, different channels. But the way you said it makes it sound like one channel name. That doesn't make sense, though. But no, I don't watch them. Thankfully, the prelims were a completely free stream, so no one had to pay to watch the Boogie fight. The KSI fight was PPV. I didn't even know KSI was fighting. Well, that's good then. If they were free, have at it. Good. Ronnie Kirkman said he originally planned to end The Walking Dead once Rick arrived. I've heard of that. Would you prefer they ended on a high note instead of destroying? Oh, absolutely. I was just at Barnes & Noble. I was picking up a notebook I had to get for a project, and I was looking to see what they had on sale. And I just stopped by the graphic novels, and I was skimming through the last trade paperback. And even looking at the death scene again, just looking at that artwork, I just shook my head in disappointment. It's such a shit. And I know what he's going for. I mean, you could be blind and see what Kirkman's going for. Rick Grimes started his journey technically in a cop car, in a cop uniform, in a gunfight as a cop, but mainly he started his journey in a bed, in a hospital bed. So all Kirkman did was, I love circular storytelling coming full circle. That's one thing that when I was taking courses to write screenplays, that's one thing that they teach heavy for screenplays. It's at this point, I think it's almost a mandatory, and you can utilize the shit out of coming full circle. Look at this episode. Most shit in Hollywood is full circle. The problem with that is it's predictable. It's painfully predictable. It almost ruins entertainment, because the moment they set up the girl can't fight a zombie because of trauma in her past, you know damn well this episode is going to be about bringing up that trauma, attacking it head on. By the end of the episode, she's going to successfully kill a zombie. The moment, because everything in Hollywood is written coming full circle for the most part. So, for example, with Rick dying in the bed, he started in a bed, he's going to die in a bed. It just seemed like that Hollywood mentality of full circle is good writing, it's artsy writing, clever writing. I just think that stuck with him, and the only option was assassination. What is he gonna do? He's gonna die of old age. I mean, it just doesn't affect the story. And I think utilizing the full circle bullshit just put him in a box by having some wimpy character we don't care about. You could have used the person who killed Rick Grimes as a potential ace in the hole for a future character that you never know. In 10 years, Kirkman could go, fuck, man, nothing has worked since The Walking Dead. Nothing. Skybound they're starting to ask for money now from fans. They were once like, I thought they were going to be like the entertainment company that was going to be like a breath of fresh air, but they're kind of turning into just, I don't know, just stuff that I'm not interested in. And I wish them all the best. I was rooting for them a lot. It just kind of feels like they went in a different direction that's generically mainstream, yet, I don't know, they're not offering a lot up, but Kirkman could utilize a lot of this. In 10 years, he could come back and be like, okay, I have this, I still have Negan. You know what I'm saying? He could have utilized the person that killed Rick to be like the ultimate villain to eventually meet an end to Carl, years later in a resurrection of the franchise, of the comic franchise. But none of this, it was just some whiny little pissant kills Rick Grimes. Rick, one of the greatest comic book characters of all time. It was just some shitty little pissant that shot him. That's it. Just shot him. Boop. Just terrible. Anyhow, but I think that's why. I think the idea of he started in a bed and he had to finish in a bed, and life isn't like that. I get why writers do it, and again, when you do it that way, it's effective. Like a lot of the stuff I love is in full circle. It comes full circle. Back to the Future, the whole thing is in full circle from the very intro to the very outro. It's a full circle with a change. It's fucking great. That works, but I think when it's forced there unnecessarily, it kind of drags it down. Casting for Abby will be key. They give a semi-attractive girl, hire a dude. I don't know if they could hire someone who's charismatic. I think it's different. It's going to be different, but if you're going to take out Pedro Pascal, a lot of fans are going to be disappointed. If you remove Pedro Pascal from the show, there's a lot of fans that are going to be really bummed out about that. So it's curious, Did I watch Evil Dead Rise yet? Yes, I did. I've been meaning to do a video on that, but I liked it. It didn't blow me away, though. Also, my wish list for Dead City, using the zip lines at least 3 times. Those sound like such a cool idea, and I relate to Dead City Escape from New York. Yeah, when it comes to skyscrapers, I'm dying one day to see them creatively built in some sort of post-apocalyptic cool way. Like, I don't want to run through the whole number of ideas, but imagine a skyscraper that has been turned into a treehouse of sorts for survivors, where they just threw everything out, all the desks and this and that. They just chucked anything they couldn't use. They just chucked it out the windows, and then they brought in a bunch of things that they could reincorporate into the skyscraper being like a little mini tent city, because there's only one way to go up it, and then the outside can be, you can either leave it looking like there's nothing there's only zombies, black out the windows, and you actually have like this, I don't know, like this actual, community right in the middle of a dead skyscraper. I mean, some of that stuff would be so cool, but again, it's hard for me to really verbalize like this image of what that would look like in my head, because you don't just have like this tiny building. Those skyscrapers are massive. So when you see like, if you go through and gut out a lot of unnecessary stuff in those offices and take out some of the privacy walls, and you get these huge vast areas where you can go first with 1 floor, 2 floor, 3, 4 floors, and it'd be huge. You can have training grounds. You go up 1 floor and it's just this training ground. But again, don't futurize it, make it post-apocalyptic, and and then you have zip line going from there to this one, to this one, to this one, but come up with a clever way where it brings them back up top for a zip line that can come down to where they began, or some shit like that. Like, come up with clever systems of I don't know, just some cool shit would be. I thought that'd be so fucking cool to visualize in a show. I think they would do well to incorporate some of that. Who do you think was the best showrunner for The Walking Dead? I don't even know at this point. I think Frank Darabont would be my pick. You know, he only did the one season technically. I mean, they jammed him up on the second season so much it barely counts. But I don't know, man. I'd have to pick Frank Darabont. What do we got? All right, we're going to wrap it up, though, because we're hitting an hour. So if there's anything you want to mention, definitely get it out there. Throw it out there now so we can wrap this up. Lance Hornsby was my saving grace of Commonwealth. BS. One of the biggest issues with The Last of Us was how every settlement was like Commonwealth, and nowhere it was even Alexandria level, no struggle. Yeah, The Last of Us didn't do a good job, in my opinion, about setting up much struggle at all. 12 Monkeys movie was full circle done right. Yeah, 12 Monkeys was good. Did anybody like 12 Monkeys TV series? I didn't watch the TV series. The writers would have been better off merging two shows and ending them at the same time, with Morgan and cast living at the Commonwealth. Well, I appreciate you love the content, Daniel. I appreciate it. Just the 12 Monkeys movie for me. Yeah, I have the 12 Monkeys Steelbook on pre-order. I was waiting, not pre-order. I have it on my watch list. It's at 18 right now. I'm waiting to see the price go down. It's actually cheaper than just buying the regular version. And it's 4K and yada, yada, yada. And I'm waiting for it to go down because my daughter hasn't seen it yet. And she's been watching some of the older movies that I grew up with that I think are classics. And that's one that I told her to watch. She's watched True Romance, Donnie Darko, Memento, a lot of these movies like that. And she friggin' loves them. So I told her we're going to watch it together. But I actually don't have it. I used to have it on DVD. But I got rid of all my DVDs when I knew I was gonna, jump into Blu-ray. I should have just kept them though, because I thought it was, I'd run into 12 Monkeys, but I always thought let me wait a little longer until I get a definitive set, And years go by and you just don't think about it. There's so much shit out there anyway. Daryl Dixon show seems cool in theory, but everything about it seems underwhelming. Feels too obvious they're milking it. Yeah, the Daryl show, we'll see how that goes. They already start in a negative place for me because of how stupid it feels having Daryl just show up. I think there's a picture out there of him sleeping on a capsized boat, just waking up. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, I'm what are we doing? There has to be. I don't want no mystery. I want you could do a mystery of why they bring them, blah, 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 blah. Right from the rip, I want the CRM captured them. They were bringing them to a location. They got into a storm and they were close to this area. He got on a life raft. Everyone's dead, but he's alive. And then leave the rest a mystery. That's fine. But if they start out and he just wakes up seagulls and he's on a boat and it's oh man, I'm not in America anymore. It's what the fuck, bro? That's so lame. So right off the rip, I'm not good about that. Just join. Should I watch Fear? Fear was trash, in my opinion. Pedro P's Joel being nerfed, making him less bloodthirsty and more wimpy, clubbing him with 1,000% worse than Glenn's death, especially with Pedro's cult-like following. I'm looking forward to it. It's funny because it's actually flipped where there's not much about the story in part 2 that I enjoy. I just think it's a very underwhelming revenge story. Killing bad. I don't know. It's just such a weak message. And not only that, don't forget in the game, your character kills, 3, 4, 5, 700 people that never bothered you, never has any problems with you. And some of them, they're not even trying to kill you. They're just in your path. And you do it because you're playing a video game. It's a video game. So you just kill them. And then she gets to the one person that does deserve revenge. And she's like, oh, no, I'll end the cycle of violence here. Well, what about fucking Sydney over there? What about poor Jeff? Jeff didn't even know who the fuck you were, Jeff probably likes you, He probably thought you'd be cool. He wanted to hang out with you. You slit his throat. Then you stabbed him in the ear with a fucking ice pick. You didn't even say a word to him. You just slaughtered him. And that's the hero of the story. It's just, for me, Last of Us 2, story-wise, is so... I think they had their head up their ass for artsy-fartsy storytelling, and they just blew it. So I have no interest. So having the big death in the show, I'm like... Because any way they do it, they either piss off Pedro Pascal's cult following, which it's big, His fans are like, or they change it even a little bit, and they prove to everybody that they were wrong with what they did in the game. And the reason I think that they might actually change it is simply because Pedro Pascal, or I should say TV Joel, isn't white. See, the reason why they were quick to, get rid of Joel in the game is because they needed to get rid of the white lead. So they didn't even waste time. They got in there, got him out of there, done. But they don't have to do that technically. But I don't think they're going to keep Pedro alive for the entire season, like some people are saying, because his end is the only thing that starts the story. So they might keep him alive for like 2 episodes and then bring him back for flashbacks, for 2 more episodes, but maybe even more. But I just don't think it's going to be he's alive for half all of the season. It could be, though. I need all these shows to be fully out so I can just binge them. I can't do weekly episodes anymore. Yeah, I feel you, especially when there's nothing to it. Like, this episode was all set up for... There's some community here. Yet again, another community. Yet a fucking again. Here's a community. And it's kind of like, I don't know if it's a council, but it is authoritarian leadership, And you do what they say or you're imprisoned. You know what I mean? Again, I don't know if it's a committee or a dictator, but it's authoritarian community. And we don't know much about it, but they're all imprisoned. This is like the 5th time they've done this on Fear alone, but yet they're doing it again. What was the Virginia storyline? This is the same thing. This is the Virginia storyline done again. The cast is all captured in this community. They're separated. Throughout the season, they're going to reunite, and we're going to get to where we go. I don't know. It's just, we've already done this. Ronnie, is a part of you dreading Roshone spinoff? A little bit, knowing it's more likely it will be trash. A little bit, just because I really enjoy Rick Grimes as a character and Andrew Lincoln as an actor, and Michonne's been one of my favorites for a long time, and I really like the actor playing Michonne as well. Denai, she's fantastic. So having like 2 of your powerhouse favorites in the conclusion of their story with AMC's track record in a sticky situation to begin with, because the whole captured time skip, and it looks like they're already trying to jump over it. Like, oh, look, here's Rick. He was captured. Here he threw his boots. Oh, so you are going to skip right over his, 10-year captivity. Just done. And AMC has no problem skipping it, or the creative team for the Walking Dead franchise. They have no problem. Madison got captured. Oh, she did? Oh, I don't know. They skipped it. I'm just seeing her in prison, Oh, Madison and Ren are going to escape in this episode. Oh, look, they're on a boat. They already escaped. They escaped during the commercial break. They skip so much that feels like it should have been a part of the story for the flow. I don't know. They need to make Texas Chainsaw Massacre TV show for Netflix or something. That would be cool. Slow and methodical. I need all these shows to be okay. The Walking Dead will have to add fast zombies because people now want more suspense and horror. I feel a big part of the audience will start to compare it to The Last of Us, which they shouldn't, but I think the audience, if there's fast zombies and it's more an urban setting, I think they would compare it more to the Last of Us. But you can have similar shows, zombies, outbreak, post-apocalyptic, yada yada yada, with very different vibes. I've talked about this before, just showcasing the characters, moving in these confined spaces, dealing with these zombies with just a slow moving crowd of biting and grabbing death, just constantly making its rise. A lot of times the show just does this with zombies. One person notices them, a zombie, another zombie, and then they'll do this with the camera, 5, 6, 7 zombies coming out of the woods. But they don't show them. They don't show this movement, this flow, the way the characters are herded in the situations. They kind of do it, but not. It's hard to put into words, but not in this interesting way where John Wick is a bad example. But imagine some of the clean action in John Wick, and don't look at the ridiculous action of it. If you actually watch John Wick, a lot of it is, the camera is here. Here's a character fighting and doing amazing stuff. Shit that's just like, they're not doing edit tricks and cuts, like as far as throwing the camera around so you could barely see what's going on. They're just like, here's a camera. All this crazy shit happens and you're just mesmerized. They need more of that style. And again, I don't think they need people going bong, 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 bong. They just need that style. And they don't have it. They do the same thing every time. They show the person, oh no, zombies. They show the person from this angle. He looked twice. And then they show the point of view. Zombie here, zombie here, zombie here, zombie up in the tree. Zombie coming out of the ground. There's Morgan's pocket. Zombie fingers, coming out of his pocket. And then next thing you know, they're surrounded. It's just stupid. If HBO did The Walking Dead, it would have one zombie the whole series. Yeah. I thought they learned their lesson, but at this point, it doesn't even matter either, because clearly there's enough fans that are, zombie fans, but also have no problem saying, I'm a zombie fan, but I don't need any zombies in this content, hardly at all, and I'll still love it. So it's tricky. I don't know. Did anyone see or hear the spoiler about Rick and the major injury in the spinoff? No. If you're talking about his hand being cut off, I don't believe it, because there was a picture and everyone's like, oh my God, look, his arm is cut off. But he was running and you can actually see his arm is just down here where it's in a dark area. There's another image where his arm is fine. So if that's what you're talking about, then yeah, it's just the internet being the internet. I don't know if they'd kill Rick or Michonne. I don't think it matters, though, win or fire, in all honesty. I don't think it matters. Yeah, I really don't think it matters. Because whether they kill them or what, it's over. They could do more stories, but I don't know. I think there's going to be a second season. I don't believe this one season stuff, We'll see. Willing to bet they kill Joel midway through the season. They'll bring him back for flashbacks at the end. Yeah, I'm still sticking with, I think they are going to have Joel in for the first 2 episodes. And then, 3 episodes after that in flashbacks. 2 or 3 episodes in flashbacks. And yeah, that's what I'm going with. 2 in the beginning, 2 in the middle, and 1 in the finale scene, flashback. And then in the season 3, it'll be like 1 more, 2 more, and then in the finale, it'll be a final scene if they're sticking with something similar to the game too. Dead City will at least have zombies, unlike 80% of it. Yeah, that's one good thing. Dead City does have zombies. More excited for the Walking Dead universe over almost anything Marvel. Yeah, I'm not big into Marvel. Actually, current Marvel, there's nothing I like about Marvel. I haven't seen a single Marvel movie since Endgame. And it's not like, wait, no, I might have seen one, but I've seen like one. And it's not like I said, oh, Endgame was the end, I'm out. It's just everything they've come out after that. Like the Loki show, nope, doesn't look interesting. Scarlet Witch, nope. A lot of the I'm not giving Disney money for Disney Plus anyhow, but I do have a sign in for the account so I can watch. However, the shows like the Black Widow, I don't care. It didn't look interesting. Even the Ant-Man didn't look interesting. Guardians of the Galaxy I might see, but I just don't have. There's nothing that interests me. The Thor movie, nope, it doesn't interest me. The Marvel coming out, the Captain Marvel and the 3 Marvels definitely doesn't look interesting. Kind of looks, I don't know, looks dumb. Anyway, the franchise is something I grew up on, love. Nowadays, it's like a chore to get through. Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, I entered the Walking Dead franchise finding the first episode to be what we've been looking for years in the zombie genre. And that is a, serious, grounded, respectable, award-winning zombie story, not just this, gimmicky, gore and a couple sloppy, but generic, but, poorly written characters that were, specific types, the asshole, the good guy, the you know what I mean? Anyway, and it went to one of my all-time favorite shows, like around season 3, 4, 5, even though I had problems with certain episodes and certain directions they were taking. It was probably like the highest it's ever been on my list of my all-time favorite show. Nowadays, it's Breaking Bad. I would have to even argue, because of all the bad seasons in The Walking Dead, I would honestly have to say Breaking Bad is better. The Shield is better overall, comparing 1-to-1. Even Sons of Anarchy, I think objectively is just, I mean, I might enjoy zombies better than bikers and whatever, but I think, from the first season to the last, it stays true. It does good job keeping it interesting. I think Sons of Anarchy is a better season overall, a better series overall. The Walking Dead just dropped the ball too much, and that's something I never thought I would say, just because of how good it was doing. Sopranos loses a lot of credit with me because it didn't end. It is bullshit. So I want to see a huge horse trapping and pushing them into a skyscraper, slowly going up steps, pushing them up. They have to get down besides just a rope straight down. A horse? I think you mean a horde, right? Because you wrote horse, but I think you mean a horde. And yeah, you did say horde. Okay. You corrected later. Yeah, a horde sending them up would be great. That's cool. Walking Dead is like MCU. It was on point for so long, but really became a quantity over quality situation. Yeah. You like the ending, killing off main protagonist is overdone and lazy. Ronnie, do you think the ending a story by killing the main protagonist is overdone and lazy? I don't know if it's lazy. I do think it is a bit overdone. We've gotten to the point, I remember when I was younger, it was more of a fresh idea. A lot of the stories were way too predictable with, it's going to end with this and this and this. And slowly those, dark, gut-ripping endings, it became more possible. Like, this might end, it might have a great story, but so-and-so might die. I think it's getting a little bit overdone now. Now I want to see it done where it fits purposeful within the storytelling. Dead City trailer looks awesome in my opinion. Lots of Armageddon Cityscape showdowns, but looks good because they want Negan and Maggie has him to trade if need be. They want Negan and Maggie has him to trade if they won't be. I didn't know they want Negan. Is that the case? I know there was something. Oh yeah, that's right. Because the guy has a wanted poster with Negan. I got you. I hope so. I hope it's good. No, AP, there's no after party, bud. No, there's no more gaming streams. We're not doing gaming streams for a little bit. I gotta yeah, we're not doing it for a little bit. I know it's only a couple hours here and there, but I'm already doing this for an hour, and I got other work to do, and I got to get to bed. It's kind of late already. Yeah, just no AP. We will return, but it's going to be a few weeks before we do that. Walking Dead's ending at least can claim it wasn't an utter bit abysmal. Yeah, I mean, Walking Dead ending, I didn't think it was show breaking like Game of Thrones. However, it did have that, it's just kind of like a limp noodle ending. So there is that, I guess. Breaking Bad is my favorite by a mile. It's a league in its own. Yeah, overall, beginning to end, it's just solid. Just finished Better Call Saul. Didn't watch every episode, but last season was good. I also hated. The way Better Call Saul ends, I just don't believe it. I think it's a TV ending. It's a Hollywood ending. I just don't buy it. I think you can change, but not sacrifice yourself. In that way. I don't think it's necessary. I hated Kathleen in The Last of Us more so after I watched Alpha with the Whispers. When the scene of girl power happened in Endgame, my friend looked at me and I did a thumbs down with a fart sound, and the girls in the aisle scoffed at me. There was the theater I was at. There was a collective chuckle of escaping cringe, where people, you can tell they weren't trying to just shit on it for everyone in the theater, but there was just this collective snickering, and it was great because you could tell the whole theater was just, whether you were liking it or not, or even if you minded the scene or not, you can tell a lot of people in the theater just cringed in that same moment. But it was very not muted, but it wasn't like overdone. But there was a moment where I think it was the one where Captain Marvel says something to Spider-Man the first time, and there was like this chuckle from some knuckle fucker, off to the side, was just laughed at it. I remember a little bit from that, but that is just super cringe when they're on set. Sometimes making a movie, if you watch the behind the scenes, it looks cringy. Even some cool shit looks ultra cringy, especially when you're doing CGI work, because there's nothing there to aid to it. When you're working with practical effects, I mean, it could definitely be when you're freaking out and you're like, oh shit, and you got this practical, monster thing stuck in your arm and all this, but when you're doing and there's nothing there because they're gonna CGI it, it looks stupid as shit. So sometimes it's hard for them, I would imagine, to distinguish, is this stupid before CGI or is this stupid altogether? And that was just stupid altogether. Is Walking Dead still going? Was my favorite. No, the main show is not going. Wouldn't Maggie eventually take revenge on Negan for what she did to Glenn? No, that's over. They're starting to redo it again, but Maggie's already said her piece and they've already moved past it, so. In the new Walking Dead shows, are you wanting more walkers picking up weapons? No. And stuff like that, that's very dumb to me. That's like George Romero. As much as I loved his stuff growing up, there has been a couple things that I loathed from the beginning. The smart zombies, which the reason I hate it is the reason that George Romero talked about in interviews as to the direction he wanted to go and why he liked it. His ghoul, was supposed to go full circle from zombie to remembering like they were human. So they became human again, but not quite, that was his idea of the ghoul, where it went from zombie, but zombie human, And I loathe that idea. I think the zombie is awesome because of what it is. And it's not human. It's mindless. It's just teeth. Because teeth, imagine, you're being eaten alive. These aren't sharp objects that are going to instantly rip through and sever your nerve endings. This isn't a quick gunshot. This isn't a frantic and just sudden stabbing where, you might feel like a little wince of pain here and here and here. But for the most part, the shock and adrenaline and severed nerves, you barely even felt it till after. This is slow, pressure, biting of dull, flat teeth, the sounds, the smell. It's just such a nasty event. I don't think shows highlight that enough and really showcase that, how just fucking nasty it is. So I think it just needs to be filmed in a better way. You know, I don't know. There needs to be more passion mixed into it, but I did see something that caught my attention. Oh, I see what you're saying. Never mind. But yeah, so about them using weapons and stuff. No, I like zombies for being zombies. I don't want them. If you want to make a show where people are zombie-like, but they have other powers, and maybe this is a new type of, undead person, I don't know what to call it, then make your own movie and show, and I'd watch it, because I don't think we need one type of zombie-like monster. We have a ton that are cool. The Freakers are cool in Days Gone. The Clickers and the Stalkers and Runners and Bloaters, Shamblers, they're cool. One of my favorites in the Last of Us video game. You have regular, plain old classic zombies, which again, one of my favorites. Then you got the running zombies, which not my favorite, but if filmed properly, there's a lot of tension there. So I'm fine if you mix it all up. Like Freakers have what is potentially where George Romero was going, where it's a human zombie. You know what I mean? Heartbeats, but they got some superpowers where they can, not superpowers, but they can jump higher. They're stronger. They can, kill and eat and yada, yada, yada. If they came out with Days Gone 2, I'm down for it. It's just a different type of zombie-esque monster. I like variety. I don't need everything to be that, but I don't want them to take, classic zombies and turn them into variant zombies. Not at all. Have you watched The Sadness, Ronnie? It's pretty nuts. I've seen parts of it. I haven't watched it all, though, but it is nuts. I watched like 20 minutes of it just to see what people were talking about, but I do plan on getting it and watching the whole thing and seeing if it's actually good or if it's just crazy gore. Yeah, Ada B. The movie you're talking about is Land of the Dead. That's the fourth Romero zombie movie. There was Night of the Living Dead, Day of the Dead, or Dawn of the Dead, sorry, Day of the Dead. Land of the Dead is the one with Dennis Hopper in the high rise. John Leguizamo is one of the little gangsters. So is, what's that guy's name? He was an actor of the time, but really poorly cast for the lead. I forget his name, but really generic vanilla actor. Zombies that run over zombies that use weapons. Yeah. If these new Walking Dead shows are whack, I'm just going to say screw it and ask for Left 4 Dead show instead. I just want a dark atmosphere and the witch crying and someone getting fooled. Yeah, one day we're going to get some awesome shit. But, all right, I'm out of here, though. It's getting late. I don't want to run this too long. I do have to roll. Sticks Bass said, is Fear the Walking Dead still going? Did The Walking Dead turn into another show? Fear the Walking Dead, this is the final season. We'll see how this upload does. I'm gonna do another upload. We got some other videos coming this week, but I will let you know now. I'm pretty sure there's like a 98% chance we will not be here next Sunday. I just don't think there's enough hype. But we'll see. First one out, a lot of people didn't know I was showing up. If I get a bunch of people, commenting on this and saying definitely keep it going, yada, 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 we may return, but I need a good chunk of people. Not because I need a lot of people or else I'm not coming back, but, there's other stuff I'm finalizing and other content I'm uploading. So if this isn't bringing up enough interest, then we'll just do something else. You know what I mean? No biggie. We're still doing content, but I don't think this show is going to bring it. And I hate it. I think the show is terrible, and I don't think it's going to get any better. My thoughts and opinions on that are unlikely to change. So thanks for showing up tonight. I appreciate it. Have fun, and I'll see you. Whoops. I'll see you guys on the next one. Good night.